So hi guys, we are here for a focus group discussion on Google Glass, and we have quite a few diverse people here. So we have Rohini, Nikhil, Yogesh, Pavas, and myself Nikhil.
Hello.
And we are from diverse backgrounds like operations, marketing, finance. So I hope we'll have an interesting discussion, insightful discussion. So probably we can first of all start on what you guys understand about Google Glass and what do you think are its important features.
So I think Google Glass is just about augmented reality. The convenience is that it removes the obstruction which the smartphones currently offer, where when you're talking to someone in person and you get a call, you need to look away. And with Google Glass, it can overlay this additional information on top of reality. So it's like ubiquitous computing and
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more like on the go. So for busy professionals, you move from laptops to tablets and to mobile phones, and now it's the next thing is the Google Glass. As you see things, you pretty much process them and decide what to do next. So
I think Nikhil brought about a very good point that as you see things, so it is the device which is a combination of different activities which you will be doing throughout the day, be it browsing or you are talking to someone or you are watching a video, and because it is at your eye level, so it has that plug and play capability also and pause also, so you can record the things which how you are seeing it, and it might not be convenient to holding a camera. That is one of the very basic features which we might be using it for, but it has more multiple uses also.
Yeah, I think as everyone said that Google Glass is a pretty revolutionary product. You can simply click a photograph when you need it instead of just taking out your mobile phone and then doing so. And apart from that, you can use Google Glass as the app that is in Google Glass to scan a QR code or barcode and then compare that product with what is available online, and you can check the genuinity of the product. So I think it is a very good product.
Right. I mean, we know that Google Glass is now a very powerful product. So it's got, as you say, processing, image processing application. It can process QR code. So what do you think are the few applications that immediately come to your mind, strike your mind once you think of Google Glass? Probably you can also give your own industry perspective and with an Indian context in mind.
I think the ultimate use that I can think of is what's called geofencing, which is location-based relevant advertising. So I read this article which said that Google, with the advent of Google Glass, there'll be, if I'm entering a shop and I've searched for that shop using that particular device, now Google will be able to charge this vendor in a different way. So rather than like, it's sort of like in improving their search transaction cost as well. So they'll be able to show me relevant ads based on where I am at that very moment without me even having to prompt for it. So yeah, it's sort of, give me information before I even ask for it. That's something which no other device has been able to do till date, and I think that's probably the biggest contribution of Google Glass.
also anything you can think of, like any feature or any app you can think of you use right now on your phone can be transferred to the Google Glass, right? You're just thinking about where to go for maybe lunch, dinner, like anything you need to find, you just do a search on the glass and you find it. And also another thing is when you go for a window shopping or just go into a shop, you scan through the products, you look at the barcodes, you read out the prices. There will be a database which will compare those prices against some other reference prices. Exactly. So you know if it's higher price or lower price. So all that sort of thing.
Right.
I think like everyone brought it up, search is one of the biggest aspects we think of when we are thinking about Google, because like you'll be getting more localized searches, what you are actually searching for depending on your region, what merchants are available. So that is one of the things. But the other thing which we can think of is, because the whole world is moving towards gesture and voice control, so this Google Glass might be helping the world in a very big way. So how? Because in one of the videos, like if everyone have seen that Pranav Mistry, that guy, what he was doing is he was going to different retail stores and he was using his gesture for his camera to search for locations or for objects which are present in front of him. So that is a very big aspect. You don't need to hold a phone to call someone. You can just project it on your hand or something and then call. So that is two of the biggest things which I think, that voice control and the gesture based touch.
Like everyone said, if I'm a manager, I would be able to get some very good data about what the person wants to do, where he is visiting, and I can plan all my advertising strategy or say some other strategy so as to pinpoint that customer and to cater to his needs. So from industry point of view also it would be a very powerful tool.
One other thing that I can think of is it also can give you a link to a consumer's mind. So how do you process things? Basically, when you see something, what goes on in your mind? Like if you think about the next level of Google Glass, maybe you can add those features in. Like what goes on in your mind when you see things.
So it's some sort of personalized.
Yes.
So this is actually a very big point. So when you are actually searching for something, if your camera can track which portion of your page you are seeing first, so that might be a very good thing. Before you actually go ahead and do some gestures, your eyeballs, they look for a particular region in a web page, and that might be very important for marketers where they want to position.
And which part of your brain does that trigger? So
True.
that is really helpful.
Right. So I mean, we now know that it offers huge consumer insights, huge amount of consumer insights, and it's also got the geo presence thing, gesture enabled features. What do you think are the major challenges when you see it from the manufacturer or the industry, the guy who wants to implement some products or some applications, from his perspective, from his point of view? What do you think are the major challenges that you would face or rather the risks and concerns that you would face when it comes to adoption in the Indian context?
So I can think of two things. A device like this, which is quite dependent on the creation of a platform, is only as good as the apps that it can offer. So I think Google Glass kind of goes about creating a different app suite which would need applications which can fully utilize all of these capabilities. And at this point of time, I don't think we are fully there. We just have a very small subset of applications which fully utilize this. And even if we were to fully capitalize on all of their capabilities, I think security is going to be a big concern. If there is a person wearing Google Glass who's talking to me, I have no idea whether he's actually talking to me or is he looking me up on Facebook or just stalking me at which is creepy. So I think those are two things which are not.
Also, to add to it from a customer's perspective, right? As is the case with most of the revolutionary products, it gets time. It basically takes time to get used to such kind of technology. As a customer, I would not be very comfortable wearing a Google Glass, searching for things. So it's kind of a challenge there. Convincing customers to buy Google Glass. Yes. The other thing will from a customer's point will be, how do you price such a product?
Right.
Do you price it really high, really low? Which target segment? Which customer segment to target? And also, those are the challenges I can think of.
Yeah. So Indians are not very good in technology adopters. So we kind of look towards the West, and with whatever technology is going on, we are kind of the late adopters. So that might be one of the issues with Google Glass adoption in India. The other thing might be because it's a wearable device. It might be interacting with your normal process and procedures which you follow. So that might be an issue with the security, or if it has some adverse effects or something. And the third thing which I can think of is, if Google Glass requires some kind of an ecosystem where multiple people need to have Google Glass so that it can increase its usage and increase its benefits. So that might be other things. If not more, many people adopt it, will it still be able to operate and give full functionality? So that might be one of the challenges.
I do think that privacy and security, these are the two major concerns. Suppose from a company point of view, if an employee is wearing a Google Glass and working, what is the guarantee that he would not record all the processes or some important data that the company does not want to disclose, and he may take it out along with him? So privacy and security, that is a big concern.
In fact, I mean, as of now, I think a lot of organizations have banned it within the premises of their company. You cannot use this device, or they'll have just the company Google Glass, and if you want to use it for testing purposes, or if you're actually into development of these apps, you have to use that prototype itself, and they don't permit it in their premises.
I think we had the same issues when we were having tablets. People were very skeptical about how tablets will interact with people doing their normal routine, and if the offices should actually allow them or not. And now we are seeing the advent of BYOD, bring your own devices, in which the companies have accepted those devices inside their premises. So yeah, this will have, we are still a long way before when it will be adopted. So this might take some time.
Oh, probably you guys want to add more points when it comes to the Indian context, how the adoption might be. And for that infrastructure, something about that.
That I think Rohini touched upon the technology and the app part of it, and I think the customer aspect and privacy and security will still hold in Indian context as well. In fact, in an Indian context, the pricing point will be more important or more challenging, I think, because you can't really set a very high price for such a product. But then, like same things which I really like I talked about will hold true in the Indian context as well. So anything?
I think in terms of use in the Indian context, I think it's probably going to start off in more niche sectors to begin with. I think the first use of Google Glass in India has already happened a couple of months back, somewhere in South India. I think one of the surgeries was recorded live and transmitted. But I think apart from universities or such scenarios, I don't think it will be widespread commercial use so much, because if you need computing all the time, you need connectivity all the time, which a lot of us, I mean, a lot of devices don't necessarily have. So unless they get that data support also, it might be a little hokey for a while. But I think in these sectors to begin with, it should be good.
I think the internet connectivity might be a very big issue because we don't have infrastructure to support that, and we don't have data services to support that. So depending on how much bandwidth Google Glass actually requires and how much we are able to provide that, so there might be a lag between that. So it might be able to work with some trade-off, but we'll have to see whether it's capable of working even with a lower bandwidth.
So just like Yogesh said, internet speed according to me would be the biggest challenge, because still there are not too many Wi-Fi ports out here in India, and apart from that, even the internet speed that is being offered, I don't think that would be good enough to be compatible with the kind of offerings that Google Glass has. So the optimal usage of Google Glass I don't think is presently possible in India because of the internet services available here.
Unless you have the Google Fiber project happening in India.
Yeah.
That
One
would be
terabyte.
good.